It's a family tradition in many parts of this country. Building up and tearing up cars. Demolition derbies pull in big crowds and pull families together to compete, share this unique experience. Families like the Careys, who have deep connections to the track.
I bought a 52 Ford for 20 bucks. And back then we drove them to the demos.
That was back in the 60s. But now in the 70s himself, he is back in the car creating his own havoc, sometimes up against his own grandkids.
And so your wife is hinting that with those question marks that your demo days should be done, but there might be some surprises?
Yeah.
Buckle up as Garey Carey takes us to the heart of the story.
Garey Carey.
What do you do?
Well, I was a plasterer, but I'm retired.
Yeah, how long were you a plasterer?
For about 40 years, 50. Somewhere right in there.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Making stuff, putting things together?
Yeah, people appreciate what you do.
Well, I know you like putting things together, and times you also like tearing things apart.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tell me about what got you interested in Demolition Derby.
Well, we ran, my mom and dad always went to all the stock car races. I was 6 years old going over to the old Route 6 Speedway and went to race with my dad and mom all the time, and nobody had raced before that. And you know, I just loved it. So we got into the stock car racing at first. Me and two of my brothers drove the figure eight up in East Moline. And my other two brothers were mechanics. And I just always loved tearing up cars, I guess. It's just fun to go out and smash them.
It was a family thing too, right? Family and friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have so many nieces and nephews, and my son, and both my daughters have drove. My wife has drove. Yeah, it was just a family thing.
What did you find about racing and Demolition Derby that is so uniting? You know, it's kind of it's a social thing too. Something you look forward to, something you meet new friends and experience things together.
Yeah, I still have a lot of friends that haven't passed, but back in the figure eight days, my mother, old Lloyd Chick and his wife back in the 60s gave her a trophy for having the biggest participating racing family.
Little pride there, huh?
Yeah.
So when you decided that racing was kind of, what did you decide that you're getting too old for it, or was it getting too dangerous for you?
No, the kids were growing up and stuff, you know, and I had one time I had a 40 Ford Coupe that we ran in for a long time, and then they got too big to fit in there, so I sold it. After I sold it, I was sorry I sold it. But anyway, then a few years later, about a 62 Chevy convertible, had 2 or 3 of them, and then I flew out to Arizona to get the one I have now, and brought it home and completely redone it. I got into the car shows and stuff real deep.
After moving on from racing and growing a little bored with making cars all polished and pretty for car shows, he decided it was time to just have a little fun. Smashing and crashing his way back onto the track in the early 1960s.
I bought a 52 Ford for 20 bucks. And back then we drove them to the demos. You know, we drove to a lot of demos. Yeah. The cars.
You didn't just tow it in, you drove it there.
Yeah, and it was either 1964, but I think it might have been 65. I won my first demolition over there in Davenport when I was 16.
Wow, 16 years old.
So that's what gets you into it when you
Yeah.
when you win, you know.
So it was the win that got you, got in your blood, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Something about too the first couple of hits that you either took or that you gave to someone. Do you remember that feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just fun. You know, I was already used to driving stock cars and stuff, but it's just fun.
So you got to tell me about your T-shirt. What does it say, and how has it been altered by someone in your family?
My niece got this for me.
Just one more demo derby, I promise.
Yeah.
When did she give you that?
And then my wife put the 3 question marks behind it.
Your wife added some question marks.
Yeah.
When was this?
She gave it to me a month or so. When she found out I was driving, she ordered, found it on the internet and ordered it off the internet.
That's right, she found out he was driving demo derbies again. And at age 75, when most are looking for a rocking chair, he is looking for a different kind of retirement seat.
And so your wife is hinting that with those question marks that your demo days should be done, but there might be some surprises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why'd you get back into it?
Well, my grandson started driving, my son was still driving, and all my relation. I don't know, a few years back, I don't remember how long, it's been 10 years I think, my niece has Alpha 1, it's a lung thing, where they don't get any better. So we had a big benefit for her. So, I mean, we had, I think my whole family ended up winning the whole thing. Because there were so many of them, you know, and we hit each other. We don't.
You don't hold back.
No.
So you're there for a family event to support the family
Right.
by hitting each other with your cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a regular demolition derby. They just called it the Jackie English benefit.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah.
And how exciting was that for you? How touching, too, emotionally it must have been to see so many family members together having this joint experience.
Having fun.
Having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It's still great today. There was probably, at this last demolition that I drove in, there was probably 6 or 7 family members.
Do you get a certain amount of satisfaction taking out one of your family members?
Oh yeah, it's fun. As a matter of fact, it's probably been 4 years ago, me and my grandson was in the demo together, and it ended up me and him, and he hit me hard enough that the car wasn't going to move, so I shut it off. He said, "What'd you shut it off for? I wanted to hit you again." I said, "I didn't need you to hit me again." But he won it and I got second.
Nice.
He says his only real injury came from cutting his hand just prepping for a race. He's never been sore, even after all this.
How many more just one mores are there going to be?
Well, I don't know.
Keep on driving.
Yeah.
Keep on crushing cars.
Yeah, it's the ball. I mean, it's fun.
See more on his family and others competing right now on our YouTube channel. How to Win Demo Derby, and others out enjoying their passions like tractor pulls and dirt track racing. Subscribe, share with a friend, and help us grow. Inspiring stories of everyday people doing cool stuff. And shout out to Peterson Plumbing and Heating, a family company that knows what it's like to compete and win, and spend time with family on and off the track.